Hi everybody and welcome to my very first whiteboarding video ever. My name is Sven Peper, I'm 27 years old and I'm a regional sales manager based in Amsterdam, which basically means I can go to the local Zscaler office by ice skating over the canals. Yep. Anyway, I'm really excited that I've joined this journey together with all of you at Zscaler. We probably all have wished to be all together today in San Jose for our live sales bootcamp. Unfortunately, due to circumstances, this is not possible. I realize it isn't ideal, but we are going to make the best out of it. So make sure you set up a nice office place for yourself, or in my case, my own bedroom, as I'm moving apartments next month. So that was a quick introduction. Let's go to the Zscaler story. All right. So you have your headquarters today and probably hundreds of remote offices connected over an MPLS back to your HQ. Like most of the companies today, you also have remote workers, and at the current stage, probably even more than ever. You're probably also thinking about using Office 365 and SaaS applications directly from the cloud, like Salesforce for sales and marketing and Workday for human capital management. And many companies are having a cloud migration strategy for their data centers, where they will be moving compute and storage to cloud platforms like Azure, Oracle, and AWS. Inside of your HQ, you have created a network stack to make sure your employees are protected, but in a castle and moat approach, which is extremely difficult if almost nobody is currently in the castle. Things like secure web gateway for URL filtering, a next generation firewall, data loss prevention, and you probably have all these appliances at all your egress locations around the world, which is very hard to maintain and it doesn't scale. So you egress all this traffic to internet through these security appliances that are service chained together. And for your remote workers and remote offices, you backhaul all the traffic to those main egress locations. So you can pass the traffic through the same security appliances for protection. So your current state is the castle and moat approach. Strong control over everything that goes in and out of your company, but this isn't the future. We are moving outside the HQ directly to the cloud. You're moving, for example, your legacy ERP system to NetSuite or your legacy HR system to Workday, or you bring workloads to AWS and Azure. You probably also have performance and operational challenges because you service chain all these appliances together. They all have different configuration, policies, logging, etc. You're also requiring the users to backhaul the internet to HQ or different egress locations, so you pass it through the security stack. On typical MPLS networks for enterprises today, it's about 35% traffic that is bound for the internet on those very costly links. And if you're those companies adopting SaaS applications, it could go up even to 60%. So it was just destined for the internet anyway, but you have to pass it through those expensive lines. For your corporate access, you need your users on the network for the access of internal applications, for example, ERP. The danger is that then I can request access through a specific on-prem application. I go through DNS, get the IP address, go to that server, and only then it will be authenticated who I am. Furthermore, you see more and more that companies introducing BYOD, or in some countries you give them company devices, but in other locations employees are using their own device, or users are just using their own device without the company knowing it. That, besides the increase in IoT devices, is a huge risk because it's really hard to control. So previously, you probably would have just bought more and more appliances to try to get it under control, but this is not manageable. Imagine if you then do also a lot of acquisitions where you take over environments that you haven't built yourself. How are you going to integrate that? How are you going to control and secure it? Your network just gets more complex. And this is exactly why Zscaler exists. We have solved these problems, but to do that, we had to change the way we think about a security stack. We view this as a cloud, a globally distributed cloud where you put your service closest to the users. Furthermore, we realize that internet traffic more and more is encrypted by SSL. That means in order to apply inspection and policy, there you need a proxy. The problem is that existing proxies weren't fast enough. So Zscaler said, we need a fast proxy and the world's fastest one, so we can do SSL inspections and we can scale. Finally, many companies leave logging analytics to a third party. We did not. We created logging analytics to every transaction, 30 billion transactions a day, and it built in our core architecture from the start. What this enables you to do is actually wrap a parameter around the internet. That parameter is Zscaler. All your locations, not just HQ, but also remote workers and remote offices. anyone inside your company that is accessing the internet leverages Zscaler as its default route to and from the internet. We apply the entire security stack as you know, CASB, sandboxing, DLP, name it, and we are probably doing it. By doing this, it's not just a matter of doing it better, cheaper, and faster in the cloud. It is actually a different deployment model altogether. You don't need any longer backhauling the traffic over MPLS and forward that traffic through those security appliances. You can actually phase them out and leverage just Zscaler. This also counts for your on-prem applications in your own data center. We can connect you to your private applications with Zscaler private access, so you don't need your VPN anymore as well. If you take this approach, you also see that you don't need your MPLS network anymore. So your future state, you have up-leveled your security as all traffic goes through the same network stack and policy. You have simplified your network. You have reduced your MPLS cost by 50%. For example, General Electric had over 30 million in savings leveraging Zscaler. And that's not 30 million in total, that's every single year. So that's Zscaler internet access. With Zscaler private access, you have no users on the internet, so they can't request access to things they are not authorized to. So you are authenticated before the access. You can see any single application in your environment, full visibility of what your users are doing, both in the cloud as well as in your own data center. So if you take this approach to its final conclusion, you start to see the need for a corporate LAN or WAN no longer exists. Your users are not on the corporate network, they are leveraging the internet as their corporate network, and you're just overlaying security and policy on top of it. In many ways, we are doing connectivity as a service. Now, not having to manage LAN or WAN or MPLS backhaul costs results in huge savings. So to conclude, with Zscaler, you will up-level your security, simplify your network, reduce your attack surface, improve your user experience, and you will save a lot of costs. Alright, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And for now, stay safe and stay sassy. Bye bye.